I've got to be honest, this weekend just got way more interesting than I expected. And not in a small way. I'm talking about one of those shake-up moments that could really shift the game at Martinsville. Out of nowhere, we've got not one, but two major driver changes happening at the same time. And trust me, these moves say a lot about what's going on behind the scenes in NASCAR. This isn't just about filling seats, this is pressure, opportunity, and big question marks about what teams are planning next. And honestly, one of these moves completely caught me off guard. So if you're a fan who doesn't just watch the races, but follows driver decisions, team strategies, and all the behind-the-scenes drama, you'll want to stick around for this. Quick pause if you're new here, hit that like button, and subscribe. We're chasing our first 1,000 subscribers, and it's all about real NASCAR fans, talking NASCAR the way it should be, right here on NASCAR Race Central. Let's dive in. First up is one of the busiest guys in NASCAR right now, Ross Chastain. If you've been following this season, you know Chastain has been everywhere. He's running basically anything he can get his hands on in 2026. He just came off Darlington, finishing second in the Truck Series with Nice Motorsports. And on top of that, he also ran an Xfinity race with JR Motorsports, driving the part-time number 9 Chevrolet, finishing 14th. Solid run. Respectable, considering how competitive that field is. Now here's where it gets interesting. The number 9 car is back at Martinsville, but Chastain won't be behind the wheel. JR Motorsports is putting Lee Pulliam in the car instead, and this is one of those moves that makes you stop and say, wait, what? Pulliam, 37, from Samora, North Carolina, is a legit short-track legend, 4-time NASCAR Well-An All-American Series Division I national champion, and 3 wins in the late model stock car tour. But here's the kicker. His NASCAR National Series experience is basically zero. Only 6 starts way back in 2000 and 14 inches the K&N Pro Series East. Before anyone thinks Chastain is out of the picture, he isn't. He's still racing this weekend at Martinsville, just with a different team. No, 91 Chevrolet for DGM Racing in partnership with Jesse Iwuji Motorsports. This is now his 3rd team in just 4 Xfinity starts this season. That's wild. And it doesn't stop there. Chastain already has 2 more races lined up later this year. Watkins Glen in May and Sonoma in June with Jordan Anderson Racing. Here's something many fans might overlook: the rules have changed. Full-time Cup drivers with 3+ years experience can now run up to 10 Xfinity races per season, up from 5. So don't be surprised if Chastain is back in the number 9 car later this year. This feels more like a rotation than a replacement. But giving Pulliam this shot at Martinsville is a big deal. Short track guy, could be genius, could be tough. Now, on to the second story, and this one also caught my attention. Veteran driver J.J. Yeley, a guy who's been around forever, trying to make 2026 his 22nd Cup season and 23rd in NASCAR national competition. J.J. Yeley's longevity in NASCAR is insane. He attempted the Daytona 500 with NY Racing Team. Didn't qualify, but bounced back the next week at Atlanta and made it happen. Since then, he hasn't been back in the Cup car, but he stayed active in the Xfinity Series. He ran at Charlotte with Young's Motorsports, where Brad Perez even had to step in mid-race, finishing 28th. Then Yeley returned at Darlington with Hettinger Racing, finishing 25th. And here's where things get chaotic. The number 5 Ford from Hettinger Racing has basically been a revolving door this season. They've already used multiple drivers: Luke Fenhaus, Tyler Gonzalez, and Chandler Smith, and now another name is joining the list for Martinsville. Yeley is out this weekend, replaced by Luke Baldwin, 19 years old, making his Xfinity Series debut. And again, this is one of those moves that makes you sit up and pay attention. Baldwin has only run 5 Truck Series races in 2025 with Thor Sport Racing, with a best finish of 12th at Pocono. He does have prior experience at Martinsville, finishing 22nd, so at least he's not completely in the dark. But jumping into an Xfinity car at Martinsville, one of the toughest short tracks on the schedule, is a serious test. And just like with the first story, there's no long-term clarity. Hettinger Racing hasn't confirmed anything beyond this race. No full-time plan, no locked-in driver. So, even though Yeley is out this weekend, I wouldn't count him out for future races this season. This feels like another situation where teams are experimenting, trying different drivers, seeing what sticks. Honestly, as a fan, it's exciting, but also a little chaotic. Because when you look at both of these stories together, It tells a bigger story about the Xfinity Series right now. You've got experienced Cup drivers like Chastain bouncing between teams, maximizing opportunities under new rules. At the same time, teams are giving chances to short-track veterans like Pulliam and young prospects like Baldwin. It's a mix of proven talent and raw opportunity all colliding at once, and Martinsville is the perfect place for it. Short track tempers flare, mistakes happen, and sometimes new names make a statement. So, heading into this weekend, I'm not just watching who wins, I'm watching how these guys perform. Will Pulliam surprise everyone in the number 9? Can Baldwin hold his own in his debut? And what does all this mean for the rest of the season? Because these decisions don't just stay at Martinsville, they ripple into future races, future rides, and maybe even careers. And that's what makes this so interesting right now. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about these moves? Do you like seeing new drivers get a shot, or should teams stick with more experienced names? Drop your thoughts in the comments, let's talk about it. And don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed this breakdown and subscribe to NASCAR Race Central. We're just getting started, chasing our first 1,000 subscribers. If you're into real NASCAR talk like this, you're going to feel right at home.